I know you emphasized the fact that the solution to the software apocalypse is not necessarily more tools, but better programming discipline. What do we do about the insane amount of legacy code that's unmaintained that's out there, and we're adding more messy code to that file every single day? Are we able to catch up with that debt just by being disciplined, or what's the way to go?
It's such a hard question to answer because the massive amounts of legacy code are not tested. They're not clean. They're very difficult to maintain. They slow everybody down almost impossibly. Can they be reversed? And the answer to that is yes, you can improve legacy code, but you have to do it in a very special way. At least that's my opinion. I don't like the idea of starting a project to clean up the legacy code. I don't like the idea of setting aside 3 months to clean up the legacy code. I think those efforts are almost certain to fail and fail horribly. It seems to me that the way we get through the legacy mess that we've got is to fundamentally change our attitude. And the attitude change is a very simple one. You never check the code in worse than you checked it out. You always check the code in cleaner than you checked it out. Every single time, and every single programmer always checks the code in just a little better than when they checked it out. And what that means is that every programmer, after doing whatever they need to do, fix a bug, add a feature, whatever, makes the code just a little bit better than it was when they checked it out. And then they check it in. They do some random act of kindness. They clean it up just a little bit, not too much. It's risky, but just a little bit, and then check it in. If everybody did that, then the code bases would gradually get better and better and better. And with each gradual improvement, the productivity of the teams would gradually improve as well. So this is a rolling snowball. It gets easier and easier with time. There are large chunks of the legacy code that no one has touched in years. No one should touch it. You should not go into that code and clean it up. Let it sit. It's fine. It probably works. The code that you want to improve is the code that you touch frequently. The part of the legacy that is under active modification. That's the part that's important to gradually improve. And as time goes by, you will find in the legacy code these swaths of code that are much easier to maintain because they're the parts of code that you are frequently modifying. And there will be other areas of code that are dirty and messy, but nobody ever looks at them. And you might as well leave them that way.
Right. Is there a fix for those, or is they just go on for eternity until there's a fundamental switch towards like a newer architecture?
Every once in a while, and I wouldn't hold out massive hope for this, but every once in a while you will find that there's a chunk of really old, messy, dirty legacy code that is completely surrounded by code that you have improved and added tests to. And if you get into that situation, then you have an interesting decision to make. Because you could leave it alone, because it works, probably works just fine. Or you could say, it's completely surrounded. That gives us a testing base that will allow us to rewrite this. Or just dive in and refactor it. So if you can get these surrounded chunks of old legacy code, it at least gives you an option. But I wouldn't, unless you've got that complete surrounding, I wouldn't mess with the old legacy code. As long as you're never in it, it's really not doing any harm.